right. Welcome, everybody. Welcome back to Whispers in the Woods. Thanks for that, DJ, by the way. Previously on Whispers in the Woods, the party is making their way through the Lutoxi swamp. Yeah, that's kind of true. But party's making their way through the Lutoxi swamp in pursuit of a group of assassins who put a hit on the members of the party, and they're pursuing them in order to find out why. They've followed them into the swamp and are sort of seeking information from a small settlement within that swamp called Bog Rest to try and find out where exactly the assassins have gone from here. And so they found a few leads previously, gaining a little bit of information from a few of the people in town. From one of the townsfolk, they learned that the assassins are associated with some sort of guild called Silent Song. And they also were told by another person in town that she may be able to help them, but that she needed something first in return for her assistance. And what that ended up leading to what that ended up leading to was the party traveling a little bit north in the swamp to a place called King Taka's Basin, where they were warned a very dangerous creature lurked in order to find a particular type of plant for that woman that she couldn't gather herself. And so upon arriving at the basin, they found said plant with the purplish leaves, and upon harvesting it, found themselves set upon after being spotted by King Taka, who turned out to be a massive frog-like behemoth who attacked them, accompanied by a small party of smaller frogs. And so the party opted to attempt to fight for the first little bit. Though I think they quickly realized that King Taka was a very dangerous foe, and ended up having to sort of get clever, and wits used some illusions in order to outwit the large but not all too intelligent King Taka. So after getting beaten up quite a bit, two of them knocked unconscious, but then healed again, they made their escape from the basin with some of the purple plant. They weren't able to harvest all of it after Martos trampled some of it, but they did harvest most of it, and they made their escape from the basin. And so where we return to them, they are sort of limping back to Bog Rest with the herb in hand.
Yes, perhaps we should return those flowers and take a bit of a breather.
I think a breather's what we all need right now.
A little more than a breather.
I want death.
Draven's going to cautiously wade through the waters, keeping an eye out for any foes.
All right.
Roll perception.
Okay.
Never mind.
What?
Oh, wow.
There sure are like a whole lot of just logs that happen to be floating by around here. That's weird.
Seems fine. Keep going, everyone.
Despite all the log jokes, we haven't seen a single crocodile yet.
We are dripping a lot of blood. We might run into one now.
Or at least haven't been attacked by a single crocodile.
Maros, don't give him any
yet.
ideas.
Martos,
Sorry, thinking it.
you're echoing for me.
Oh, hold up.
Please don't give him any ideas.
You might need to mute maybe something.
I forgot I had Martis muted in Discord from last session. Sorry if I interrupted you during any of that.
Is it Roll20 audio coming through?
That was what
Yeah,
I was
I
thinking,
think-
maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can disable that. Go into like the cogwheel on the right and scroll down to the bottom. I think it's I want to broadcast to others and I want to receive from others, and just put nothing.
Hello, hello, hello.
Still echoing.
Yeah, I heard it too.
I'll be right back.
Yeah, if you change those settings to like receive and broadcast to nothing, I think you might have to refresh or whatever. Or actually, there's a button there that says reconnect to chat and update settings. That'll make it where you're just coming through Discord, not both.
Hello, hello, hello. Test.
Doesn't help us tell if you're echoing when you repeat the same word.
Yeah, I was like, maybe I can just say one word.
No, you're good now.
Okay, cool. Back to being ow.
Alright, so you wade your way back through the swamp, heading south back towards Bogrest, feeling a little battered and worse for wear. Some of you are quite injured.
2 HP in a dream.
2 HP and a walk that seems further than it should.
So I forget exactly how long I said it took, but it takes that same amount of time to get back.
I think it's like 30 minutes, you said.
Something like that, yeah. It was a bit of the ways away from town, so about 30-40 minutes. Maybe a little slower because you're not moving at your top pace with your
Give me an
injuries.
Maybe we take a break halfway through.
But eventually, you can see some more boardwalks and signs of civilization. And then eventually, further beyond that, you can see the straw huts in the distance that signal your return to Bogress.
Ow. Ow. Ow.
You right there, Mardos?
I don't want to talk about it. I lost more than just a fight today.
Yeah, you lost 2 axes.
I'm coming back for that second one. I'm not skimming a fucking live with it.
What's the lost axe count so far?
2.
I have only great axe now. No more throwing.
Hmm. Think they have any other axes in town? Or are there not enough?
They have no weapons. They have no armor.
They didn't seem to have anything in general.
Oh
Uh,
my god.
There
Perhaps
is
with
only
us-
Jellycat.
Perhaps with us defeating the monsters down south, merchants will be able to come into town.
Hold up. Is this bitch we
I
gotta
think while
Restock
we're
more
here that'll
goods.
happen?
Isn't it this bitch we
Uh,
gotta see?
Doubtful.
Yeah. Maybe there's a bigger town somewhere in the area after we've gotten the information we need from here.
Well, maybe if the information isn't in the area, we can go to that Elven city that was mentioned before.
Ooh, Lunar Elf City, yeah. That'd be exciting.
I don't know if y'all noticed, but I am an orc.
I know. I'm really tapped out. I'm just gonna go straight to the end and get a drink, y'all. Gotta go bring her the flower.
I don't have the fucking
All right.
flowers. I'm gonna beat her ass, and if I see it, let's go. Wits. No,
Well,
no.
while you two do that, can we return the herbs to Alincia?
All right. Let me just remove the two who did not show up. All right. Make your way back into the herbalist's hut. And she is seated on the far side of the room at one of her tables. She hears the door open and turns to face you and says, "Ah, yes, you're back."
Hello. Yeah, we're back despite King Toxa existing. Ah, that was awful.
Oh, you all look quite worse for wear.
Yeah, Draven's leaning on the table, quite bloody.
Well,
Yes, we do.
but we did get most of the herbs. Most of them, about 2/3 of them, but it's still quite a large amount.
She stands from the table and sort of slowly walks over to you to see what you've gathered. And she sort of looks it over and examines some of the sort of purple leaves and says, yes, yes, this is it. This is exactly what I was looking for.
Well, good then. Perhaps you could pass along the information to us that you had promised.
Yes, yeah, of course, of course. Just, if you want, have a seat. I need to work, as I tell you.
All right.
So she has a seat back at her table here and places the purple-leafed herb on the table next to her and picks up her mortar and pestle. And she sort of begins to grind the leaf as she's talking to you into a paste. And she says, well, in regards to the folk that you're looking for, well, they came in through town, from what I can understand, not too long ago, and from what I saw, they headed west from town, and there's not too much in the swamp west. It's mostly just more swamp, so I couldn't imagine where in the world they were going, but then it occurred to me that there was the old altar. And
Yes, altar to who?
The Wildfather?
yes, it's an old altar to Athar that the folk who lived here quite some time ago used to use. Though it hasn't seen much use recently, or well, so I thought.
That's
With-
where Jellycap came from, right?
I believe so. It was a bit before my time.
Sorry for interrupting earlier, by the way, but what were you gonna say after that?
Well, the old altar, the folk here used to call it Meld's Sanctum. It's built into the roots of a tree in a cave system to the west of town. Now, I was under the impression that they'd sealed it up, but I suppose it's always possible that someone could be living there.
This information is greatly useful to us. Thank you, Alicia.
Why would Silent Song assassins from Lunar Elf City be squatting in an ancient temple in the middle of the swamp? Do you think there's a shortcut in there?
I don't know until I see the place, but it sounds like the place is abandoned. Good place to hide out if people are looking for you.
Hmm.
Sure beats
let's
sleeping
hope
in
we can find the others.
tents, I suppose.
Oh, it certainly does.
Indeed. Perhaps we should join the others and relay this information, unless you had more to say, Alicia.
Yes, there is one more thing. She sort of turns around in her seat as she's talking. She's finished grinding it into a paste, and is now sort of facing you with all of her attention. Well, from what I understand, back when they sealed it, it requires a rune to open the seal. So you're not going to have much luck if you just go wandering off there.
And who might have a possession of such a rune?
Well, you're in luck. Me.
Wonderful. And I suppose that will be part of our reward as well for getting you the flowers.
Of course, I won't send you off into the swamp without being able to access the place you're going.
Draven sighs a bit of relief.
She turns kind of back around and grabs some parchment. And then stands up from the stool and kind of like walks kind of slowly. Both of you guys make perception rolls.
Oh, okay.
Alright.
2 nat ones.
Draven, you notice that when she walks, she kind of limps. If you wouldn't mind. Just moving out of the way. Thank you. She uses the quill and ink on this table to draw something on the parchment. Then she turns it around and hands you, Sybil, the parchment.
Alright.
You're going to need to draw this on the stone door for it to open.
Thank you. Okay, just wanted to write that down. But anyway, yes, thank you for that. That'll be very helpful.
The symbol looks like that.
Excellent drawing, my lord.
So, free lines? That'll be pretty easy to etch into a stone door if that's what it is.
Well, you want to need something to write with.
Wait. Okay, I think I'm confused. What?
Well, you need to write it on the door.
Oh yeah, right on the door, sorry. You need to turn up your audio.
Does it need to be painted or carved or what?
Well, I don't think it was carved. Otherwise, it wouldn't be a very good lock.
It's a good point.
I suppose paint would work, but I've never tried it myself.
Oh,
Ink,
Draven?
maybe chalk,
Blood.
Chalk?
I guess
We have
blood might
chalk?
work, but that's a little macabre, don't you think?
We do not.
Whatever. We do have the chalk.
I thought we gave that to the storekeep.
Did
Did
you?
we?
You gave some of the items back, and I didn't write down which ones you guys gave back versus.
I
know that Wits kept the quill and Draven kept the cold storage, but The
I
other ones,
sold-
I'm not sure. I don't think you kept the broom. I'm pretty sure you didn't
I
keep
sold
the broom.
and the blankets. I'm not sure if we sold the shock. I'm not sure if we sold the chalk or not.
Opening the VOD.
Yeah, I don't know.
I think
We'll just
we
say-
probably sold the chalk.
I think
Actually,
it.
no, I won't look at the VOD.
I think it was given back. So let's just say you gave it back to her.
Okay, sure, we have infinite chalk now. Cool. Okay.
No, I mean you gave it back to the shopkeeper. Is what I meant.
Wait, we do? Wait,
No infinite chalk for us.
We just gotta do it in blood. It's all good.
Okay.
Draven can take care of that.
Yeah, with your blood.
Do you think
No,
Witz's
not mine.
quill would work?
I mean, you're probably bleeding right now, so.
Yeah.
Fair.
Scoop some of it, throw it in that icy backpack, and you're good.
I mean, do you have like a vial or a flask? I'd rather not just have a soggy
I'll pour out,
blood bag.
I'll pour out the healing potion.
No.
Doesn't she sell vials?
Oh, she does sell vials, doesn't she?
She did mention that before, yeah.
Alicia, how
Yes.
much for a vial?
Oh, let me double check. I don't think it was very much, but that's where it was. Okay. Glass vials were 5 gold each.
Oof.
Yumana can give you like 2 gold or so, and you can pay for the rest.
Alright, that'll work. Draven will accept the gold and hand it over.
Why do you need the vial?
We're going with his macabre idea because we lost our chalk.
Oh,
Yes.
well, I could have just let you borrow the ink if you really wanted.
You know,
Good
you
deal.
should lead with things like that.
I didn't know that's why you wanted the vial.
Yeah.
Can we give it back? Or the returns?
I suppose it's not as though you've had it for very long.
Alright. Draven will pass the vial back over.
Alright, so give me your gold back.
Draven hands the 2 gold to Sybil.
Thank you.
Alright, chat.
So, this ink here,
Yes, just you can have that ink pot.
alright. Draven will scoop it up and seal it and place it in his pack. Alright, we really should be going. I'm feeling terrible. But appreciate the information and everything, Alicia.
Yes, well, you helped me out. So, I'm happy to help you in return.
Sybil, did you have anything else you wanted to speak with Alicia about?
Not in particular. I think we should all head to the inn and make sure the others aren't getting into another bar fight again or something.
Ugh, indeed.
Oh, one last thing.
Hmm?
Kind of hobbles over towards the door. Here, for your troubles. I know the basin is dangerous. She hands you a bottle of something. It's antitoxin, just in case you need it.
Oh, thank you.
Much appreciated. Could have accepted that way over there. You didn't have to walk all the way over here, what with your injury.
Injury?
Yes, I assume you have an old battle wound or something, Alicia.
Oh, you mean this? And she sort of raises the bottom of her dress slightly. You can see that she's wearing, on one of her feet, has just kind of a leather boot, but the other one is a wooden foot made of sort of a gnarled, twisted tree branch.
Oh. Okay.
Draven's looking respectfully. Oh,
Sorry about the intrusion.
indeed.
I wish you luck.
Wish you luck too. Good luck with your potion making.
Alright. You make your way back out of the herbalist. But we are going to do the meanwhile. So Sybil and Draven make their way into the herbalist, and Martos and Wits make their way to the inn. Let me get rid of these two.
Oh yeah, Matos, I noticed that you're a little bit of a lightweight on liquor after last night.
Fuck made stairs.
After Martos goes up the stairs,
Who the f made a giant ass frog in this damn place?
What?
Shit.
Okay.
Now she's gone.
Alright, Martos goes upstairs.
after Martos goes upstairs, Wits kind of looks at her and then starts to head back for the door.
Okay.
Good day, Jellycop.
And to you as well. Make your way down the boardwalk back towards Bogrest Square.
Wits is gonna count to about maybe here-ish and start to put on his disguise kit.
Okay. So describe for us what you now are changing yourself to appear.
So, he puts on some makeup on his face and other spots that kind of look rough from battle to kind of cover them up and make them seem a little more clean. He puts on his kind of like his fine coats that he has stowed over his current clothes,
Okay.
along with some thin basic kind of gloves and a little Akuba hat, and he kind of clips up his hair too to kind of stuff it under the hat as well.
All right.
And his name for the time being is Angkor Ballaston.
All right.
And then once he does that, he's gonna start heading down here.
Okay.
And can you kind of describe the again what the front of the door and stuff and the sign and such?
Yes. So I believe I said last time that there was a sort of wooden carved plaque over the door of this hut here. Correct? And I believe it said I said that it just said high noon.
Okay.
But carved into the wood as well was a symbol. And you didn't really particularly know what the symbol meant, but you felt as though you'd seen it before.
Okay. Witz kind of takes a deep breath and he knocks on the door.
The symbol looks like like this.
almost looks like what was it? Bill from Gravity Falls.
But you make your way into the door. It is unlocked, so you are able to enter.
Okay. He will enter then.
All right. You make your way into a small little hut. And from what you can kind of see of your surroundings as you enter, it appears to be both domicile and shop, as there is both a bed and a counter on the far end of the room. Like the rest of the houses in Bogrest, it's sort of made of a slightly flimsy and thin wood that appears to be a little bit damp and ever so slightly rotten. But throughout this building, you can see some crates and barrels stacked off to your left, and behind the counter on the far end of the room, you see a creature that I don't believe you would have ever seen before. They loosely resemble a cat, but stand upright with sort of dark black fur and yellow eyes.
Fritz is gonna, when he walks in, he starts walking over towards the counter while kind of giving a light wave and saying, hello there.
Kopanahar, my friend. How can I help you today?
Well, I am passing through, and I just wanted to kind of see what kind of shop this was.
It is a specialty shop for particular things. Are you in the market for something in particular?
Not really at the moment, but I am curious as to what kind of wares you have, or services.
He seems to sort of narrow his eyes slightly. And he kind of flicks his eyes up and down, sort of taking stock of you. And you see his ears kind of flick from under the hat slightly. And he says, where are you from, my friend?
Did they say what that city was to the east? I keep forgetting its name. Because I know it was mentioned from
Draven mentioned it. Hanatuaria.
Hanatuaria, yeah, that's what it was. All right. I am from Hanatarara, and I am a traveling merchant, and I don't do a lot of dealings as much as I used to, but I decided to take a travel. I'm not very familiar with these parts, and maybe even find some new customers along the way.
You see his eyebrows raise when you say that you are from Hanatuaria, and then you see his ear kind of flick slightly and twitch when you say that you're a traveling merchant. And he goes, Hanatuaria and a traveling merchant? How interesting. Tell me, friend, do you have the merchant's badge?
Well, unfortunately, I do not, because, as you see, I have learned quickly that these lands are quite dangerous, and unfortunately, I had lost a good amount of my items on the way here.
Oh, so sorry to hear that, my friend. Losing your wares can be quite devastating.
Ah, yes. But, I'm hoping to see if this trip is not completely lost. And so that's why I'm here and viewing a few other places in the area. Just to get a taste of what possible customers may be around.
Of course. Well, you won't find many in this little town.
Well, I figured, but I do like to get to know a lot of the other business people in here. So, so what kind of services and/or goods do you provide?
I provide basic goods and services. He seems to sort of eye you up again. And then he starts to talk in a language that you do not understand. And then finishes speaking and just sort of waits for you.
He kind of takes a second to kind of think, and then he kind of leans on the counter just a tad as he's thinking for a moment, and then he says, "You know, I've done all sorts of trading, even trading that may not be the most, how do you say, legal. So worry not, friend. You don't have to hide anything from me."
I see. Under the table dealings.
Yes, of course.
Well, I may have a bit of experience there myself. And don't worry about the merchant's badge. I don't have one either.
Which kind of gives a smirk and a slight chuckle. Perhaps, I think this is a very interesting, especially, what kind of stuff would you have that is under the table all the way out here?
I could consider selling to you. But there would need to be an exchange, and I am not in desperate need of coin at the moment.
I can understand that. Wanna keep all the coin you can get. That's how I've been living my life.
Of course. But I could be convinced to offer some of my trade goods in exchange for small favors.
Well, that would depend on what said goods are.
Well, I can provide things like poisons, acids, thieves' tools, lockpicks, things to help you make grand escapes, like caltrops or ball bearings. I can provide disguises for if you need to keep yourself a little hidden. I can also provide some forgery services as well. Should maybe you need a document to be duplicated.
Well, you seem to have very, very fine wares.
Indeed. Only the finest from High Noon's shop.
I see that already. So what kind of favor would be required for any of these?
Well, it ties to the reason that I am in town. You see, a Nyanhari of my repute, it is difficult, to say the least, to get your hands on a merchant's badge, and to sell in the bigger cities, which that's where the coin is to be made. You need a merchant's badge. So you see my problem. I want to expand. I have ambition.
Ah, I see. Well, ambition is what makes the money these days.
Of course. And so that brings me to why I am here in Bog Rest. And he spits. You
Oh,
see,
yeah.
there is a merchant in this town, if you will call it that. And she has one, a merchant's badge. Thing is, she doesn't even use it.
Hmm.
It is going to
see.
waste. You don't need a merchant's badge to run a general store in a backwater town.
I
So
see.
So she wastes the gift that has been given to her. And so,
Well-
should you happen to place that badge on my counter here, maybe she dropped it and you happen to pick it up, then we could do business.
I see. Well, I'll have to see what I can do. But for the moment, I appreciate your hospitality.
Of course, like I said, only the finest from High Noon.
Oh, one last thing. Before we go. Speaking of under the table, I had heard of a group of unsavory assassins that have been through here recently. Do you, by any chance, have any information on them?
Assassins. I tend to stay away from that crowd. They invite chaos.
I completely understand.
Thieves, scoundrels, con men. That is one thing, but killers for hire, the coin they give you is stained with blood.
Ah, yes. I haven't really had a lot of experience in combat myself, but I have heard many stories. I totally agree. Well, I appreciate all of the help, and I can't make any guarantees, but I'll see what I can do about that merchant's badge.
Indeed.
And he tips his hat and starts to walk towards the door.
He tips his hat as well, and you make your way out. Alright. You return to the square. What would you like to do?
After noticing that it has been a decent amount of time and it couldn't have taken Draven and Sybil that long to get the information from the Herbalist, he begins to kind of wipe off the makeup and pack away. Or actually, wait, he's gonna go over here first and do it. He's gonna try to pack away his coats and brush off his makeup and hat and gloves and such.
All right.
And then once he does, he's going to start heading back to the inn.
Okay. You make your way back to the north side of town. And as you do, you see Draven and Sybil exiting the herbalist's shop. So Draven and Sybil, you see Wits coming from this direction after he said he was going to the inn.
I
This is
suppose he's drunk already, wandering about.
This goes back in the inn, pretending not to notice that they saw him.
All right. Then I will bring everybody to the inn.
Which just tosses another gold on the counter. You know the usual.
Of course. Get that right to you.
Wids, we have a bit of information regarding the assassins.
Here you are.
Thank you. Oh, wonderful. What kind of information?
Suppose they might be hiding in a altar to the west. An altar of Athar.
Hmm. I see. Well, regardless, I think we've had enough action for today.
Indeed.
Is anything else that you found out?
I believe it requires some kind of rune marking to enter, but Sybil was able to understand that part.
Right. Well, it appears now that we have, as always, more work to do.
Indeed. I'm going to retire now. I'm quite wounded still.
It is about 5 or 6 p.m.
You sure you don't want a drink?
No, nothing to my taste here currently.
All right. Draven makes his way upstairs.
Yeah, I mean, I know it's like 5 p.m., but I still think with how wounded he is, he could probably use a day and a half's worth of sleep, honestly.
I
I think you might be not quite tired yet, but you can kind of rest up and maybe do some other things before you sleep.
Yeah, sure.
All right, Sybil and Wits.
This is gonna keeping on drinking. Is the one drink that he got.
All right.
Yeah.
Sybil, what are you up to? Hello? Oh, she's muted.
Yeah.
All right, she might be busy.
Well,
Oh
while she-
no! I
were you
did not know I was muted. I muted myself like when Wits started doing his thing, so I didn't interrupt, and then I forgot to unmute it. I have like been talking since Wits showed up.
Okay.
Oh my god!
How
Anyway.
unfortunate.
Sorry.
Okay, so, yeah, could I get some dinner, please? I'm not sure if Sybil ate today.
We ate this morning, but
Oh,
no, we all geared cheeses. Remember? We all geared cheeses.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you had lunch here.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I forgot. Never mind then. I'm going to go to bed
Mhm.
too. Good night, Wits.
Good night.
All right. So Wits, if you are remaining down here and drinking and not doing anything else, then I'll go up to them.
Give me just a second.
Okay.
Check your DM too in a second.
Okay.
Once Wits finishes up his drink, he's gonna start heading upstairs.
All right.
Good night, Elias.
Night to you too. All right. So back upstairs. The others, you have maybe an hour or two of downtime before you'll start feeling genuinely tired. You're sort of tired, but not sleepy. So you have a bit of downtime. If you wish to do anything, or you can simply just sort of rest up.
I don't really have anything to do right now.
Me
Alright.
neither. I think I'm just going to rest too.
I was gonna say like dry my clothes off from the swamp, but we're all in a
Mhm.
shared room, so I'll spare you guys from that.
Get naked.
We really need to do our laundry, don't we?
Probably.
I've been running
Yeah,
around
we
in muck
probably
for
don't smell
days.
good. Yeah.
Most
Yeah,
Not the
but
best one.
if we're gonna be here for a while, we're probably just gonna keep getting dirty over and over again. So might as well just wait until we leave.
Mm-hmm. I love Bogress, but I cannot wait to be out of this swamp. I have never been so filthy for so long in my entire life.
Yeah, you get used to it, right, Martos?
Listen, even for a barbarian, I am ready to shower.
Wits is gonna cast message to Draven,
Okay.
and he's gonna say, once everyone's asleep, meet me outside the room.
Draven will message back. All right.
And then Wits nods before putting his nose back in his little spellbook.
Okay. Well, with nothing else to do, then eventually you guys can sort of nod off, exhausted after a busy day with lots of fighting.
Draven's just he's gonna be like turned towards the right, towards the wall, just kind of fake sleeping until he's comfortable that Sybil and Martos are passed out, and then he's gonna quietly creep off the bed. I'll roll stealth if Sybil and Martos are gonna try to roll perception.
We'll use their passives
Okay.
since they're not like actively paying attention for somebody.
All right.
Nice.
25.
Yeah, you're not making a single noise.
Damn nice. Let me see something really quick. Second.
I'm just gonna kind of creep outside and wait for Wits by the stairs.
Wits is he's gonna just step out the bed. And am I allowed to have? Well, actually, I take it back. It wouldn't matter. I guess I'll roll my stealth.
All right.
Oh no.
All right.
What are you doing, Wits?
You don't wake up. You hear, as he's leaving, you hear the door close behind him. Both of you, because that was a very low roll.
Just opens the door and slams it shut.
So Sybil and Martos, kind of, you're still half asleep and pretty groggy, but you hear a door close.
Wits is gonna whisper to Draven, "Let's go downstairs and talk."
Draven just nods and follows.
Huh?
I think the two lovers went off somewhere.
I think we just need to use the bathroom.
I didn't
mean,
know they were
Draven-
gay.
Wait a minute, Draven's gone too.
That's what I'm saying. The two lovers went off. I didn't know they were seeing each other like that.
Eh?
I'm alright, man.
It's not my business. I'm
I
tired.
don't need to see whatever they're about to do. They're about
Okay.
to get stuck on.
All right. Then Draven and Wits, you make your way down to the floor of the inn. All right. 32. There you go.
Wits is gonna come down here to take a seat at the here.
All right.
Yes, Wits. So what is this about?
So while y'all were giving the herb to that herbalist, I decided to go have a chat with that other building that was just next to Elias's home. And I have discovered that that man has some wares that you might be interested in.
Oh,
Yes. He had quite a lot of wares. Some that even I might be interested in as well. But two things that really stuck out that seems like your expertise is he has lockpicks and thieves' tools.
these tools could come in handy.
I agree.
How much is he asking for them?
Well, that's the issue. The issue is he doesn't want gold. He needs us to pull a little job for him. Nothing big, but he just wants us to go to the general store and try to take that storekeep's merchant's badge.
I see. A bit of breaking and entering, petty theft.
Now,
Did he say where it might be located?
well, he did not. So my best guess is it's left in the merchant shop, or she brought it with her home. Now, we still have work to do here, so maybe we can maybe take a look in the general store if she's not there, or if she is, maybe we can try to muster up something. But if it seems too risky, maybe we could either wait until our business is virtually done, or we can maybe just forget about it entirely. So I didn't want to go and do it without you being on board. I just know that you are also proficient in a bit of a sneakier instance as well.
Indeed. The troubling situation we are in, what with us needing to still do things in this area.
Well, maybe if everyone's asleep in town, we could maybe take a look in the general store. And if we find it, good. If not, we can wait. It'd be a little difficult breaking into the home with Elias there as well.
Indeed. We could check by the general store tonight if you'd like. I wonder if that Jellycap is patrolling, though.
The previous night, he also went to sleep, so even big mushroom fellas need to sleep as well.
Alright, well, I'm down if you would like to check out the general store tonight, or otherwise I would say we perhaps take this up when our business is done in town.
Alright, well, let's go take a look.
Alright. Draven will quietly get out of the chair and scoot it forward and make his way to the exit.
Alright. One second, let me get you the nighttime ambiance.
Just to be clear, Draven still has 2 hit points since we haven't done our full long rest.
Yeah, maybe we should have did like a short rest before we did the long rest, and then we could have did this, but
I gave you the opportunity.
if worst comes to worst, we're just gonna leave as fast as possible.
Yeah. This is intel gathering more than anything.
Alright. So, the two of you make your way out of the inn into the dark nighttime swamp. There are lanterns lit still outside most of the huts, and sort of from time to time placed along little muddy high points that stick up above the swampy waters to sort of light the boardwalks in the night. So you can still kind of see where you're going.
So kind of carefully walk as to not wake up Jellycap.
Alright, you creep along the boardwalks, making sure to be a little bit more quiet when you pass by Jellycap's house, and make your way towards the square. And as you approach the square, you see off in the distance
Draven will whisper back to Wits. He does appear quite foolish. You could distract him with an illusion, perhaps.
Yeah, but I don't know if an illusion will keep him busy long enough. Especially since we're quite tired. I can't really muster up anything that'll keep him busy long enough.
Well,
how about this?
Just summon an illusion of Sybil or Matos and ask him 3 questions. That should keep him busy for at least 15 minutes so we can scope out the house.
as you're talking, Jellycap kind of disappears behind the large tree in the center of the square.
Well, I can't maintain an illusion that long. How about this? We can go back if you like, but if not, maybe I can keep him busy, and while you take a look inside and see.
All right. Where did he go?
You see him.
I'm going to move forward.
You see him emerge on sort of this side of the tree.
Try to keep the other line down. I want him to only see me.
I'll stay on this side. Just loop him around.
Which will kind of wave and kind of yell, "Oh yeah, oh Jellycap, can you come here for a bit?"
Right. He sort of quickens his pace slightly and lumbers over to you, with kind of making thudding noises along the boardwalk. Ah, what are you doing up so late at night?
Well, we've had a rough day, because we went off and fought King Taka today, and it's just kind of hard to get some rest. I just wanted to get some fresh air and maybe pick your head about maybe some other enemies around here.
Let me know when I need to make a stealth check to like sneak behind him and check the door to see if it's locked.
About there, yeah.
Okay.
Alright, you can approach.
Alright. Draven's gonna sneak over, kind of crouch down, and just try the door handle or
It's unlocked.
whatever's. Okay, he is going to immediately creep in.
Alright. Jellycap just sort of talks to you with about, yes. I find that my pacing patrol at night is rather relaxing. But Draven, you make your way into the general store to find this. Rakiri is kind of like leaning on her elbow and just sort of scrawling something with a quill and ink pot on some parchment. But as you walk in, she just looks up. Oh, you're up late?
Yes, I had come to deliver a love letter to you from Matos, but I seem to have misplaced it. And he'll kind of like pat down his clothing.
You came all this way just to deliver that, and you didn't bring it with you?
Well, you see, we fought King Taka earlier, and I got knocked around a bit. Perhaps it was knocked loose from my clothing.
I see. Rattled your brain loose, huh?
Yes, indeed. Well, good night.
Uh, did he say? Did he just say goodbye?
Draven's gonna awkwardly exit almost immediately upon entry.
That was certainly odd. All right, back in the square, Wits, you can kind of like slightly see out of the corner of your eye. Jellycap has a very large figure, so he's blocking most of your view, but you can kind of see like in between his arm and his torso. You can see the door open again, almost like only a couple seconds after it closed, as Draven immediately leaves.
Let's notice this, and then while he's talking to Jellycap, he suddenly like flinches and looks behind him, and says, "Oh, what was that? Did you hear that? It sounded like something was thrashing in the water.
Just point where you're trying to direct him to.
Like somewhere like way off over here behind Elias's hut."
Something in the water. I did not hear anything.
Can I roll a deception check?
Sure.
Can't get high rolls today.
I am usually quite perceptive about threats to the town. Are you sure you aren't hearing things, little one?
I don't know. Maybe it's just kind of the unease from the fight today, you know?
Draven's just kind of like walk over here and then throw his hands up in exasperation and say, "Oh well, that was quite a nice evening walk. I'm ready to retire now. Jellycap, will you perhaps move?"
Ah, you are also up rather late.
Yes, us lunar elves do like to take in the moon from time to time.
Jellycap just kind of looks up.
Is it a new moon?
Mostly clouds tonight.
Yes, well, you know, we live for the tiny moments in life.
And I assume him being a lunar elf, he's quite perceptive. He probably notices it a little bit more than we do.
I see. Well then, I must resume my patrol.
Good night, Jellycap.
Yes, good work, Jellycap.
Good night to you as well.
And we go off across the boardwalk.
All right.
Yep.
The two of you make your way back towards the north of town.
Well, what? Did something go wrong? Why'd you come out so fast?
She was in there. Rakiri was in there.
What, this a light?
Yes.
Well, what'd you tell her?
Some fib about Martos and the love letter. Just whatever I can to embarrass Martos, really.
Yeah, I understand that. All right, well, we can try again another night.
Indeed. Perhaps we could set them up on a date and then infiltrate then.
Yeah, perhaps so. I'm gonna take a second seat here. It would look a little suspicious if we both went up at the same time if there happened to be awake.
Alright. So you're making me do the walk of shame?
Well, I mean,
It's whatever, Wiggs. Good night.
I'm sure they never even saw you left.
Draven will make his way upstairs.
All right.
And then you can just like put me at the stairs like after he's done with whatever he's doing.
Yep.
Not the cut back.
I'm gonna stealthily try to re-enter the room.
All right.
Oof.
All right. Let me double check.
Probably not Sybil. She probably heard it. Marcos? I don't know.
Sybil wakes up. Sybil, you hear the creak of the door open, and are sort of awoken from your slumber.
Raven, what are you doing up?
Just a late night stroll.
After you got destroyed by a swamp monster?
Yeah, so, well, I was laying down for a bit and then, muscles became stiff, so I thought should stretch for a bit. Just to help recover.
Okay, you do you.
Alright, good night.
All right, Wits, you wait a short while until you kind of don't really hear any more footsteps from above. And then when you feel that it's a decent amount of spacing in between you and Draven, you make your way up the stairs as well.
Right. I'll just get up here and I'll go ahead and just roll my stealth check.
All right. You make it in there without anybody hearing you.
Nice. Oops. Then he will just get in bed and doze off.
All right. Then now, Draven, Wits, and Sybil as well all drift back to sleep. And let's take a little 5-minute break for water, snack, bathroom, whatever you need.
Sounds good.
It's a good moment for it.
Okay, 1 sec.
All right. I will be right back, chat.
I'm back. Wait, what?
Same.
I've also returned.
1 sec. Okay, guys, one sec. I've got to move my setup. My sister just got her vaccine, and she really, really wants to take a nap in the room. So I might need to, relocate for a minute.
All right.
All right.
Sybil's relocating her setup currently.
Right.
Sister needed the room.
Yeah, that's no worries. We can
It-
hold on.
I
for a
think
minute.
everyone other than her is back.
Okay, can you guys hear me all right? I'm in kind of a weird position, but it should work for now.
Sounds
Sounds-
fine.
Okay. Sorry, she was really upset. Okay. I'm good to go.
All right, one second.
Same.
Yep.
And back.
Okay. So each of you drift off to sleep. Make sure to do your long rest stuff if you haven't. And get everything back that you need to get back.
Yes, my precious spell slots. I have missed you dearly.
But I need all of them if Marcos finds out what you're doing.
Okay. So, each of you getting a bit of a longer rest, slightly interrupted, but you resume your slumber and eventually wake up in the morning at around 6 or 7. Depends on how much each of you want to actually sleep in. So you tell me when you would wake up.
Draven would probably wake up a little bit later, just in that his sleep was interrupted.
Since Sybil went to bed pretty early and didn't really get up, I think she'd probably wake up pretty early.
All right.
I think Woods would where I wake up somewhere between Sybil and Draven.
Mardos?
And Mars looks dead.
Wake me
Yeah.
up. Whoever
What?
wants to wake me up is waking me up. She's staying in that bed. She's in depression state now.
Is Martos sleeping like with like her head at the foot part of the bed?
Head is at the foot. Head is in the
And
blanket. She's face down.
feet
Foot's on the
pillow.
pillow. She's just
Okay.
clock. Alright, she is defeated.
That was what I thought you were doing by spinning your poetry like that. So I'm glad I was right. All right. So the others wake up and see Martos still just kind of crashed and tangled up in her blankets.
I'm not dealing with that.
Okay. Are you right? Are you alright, Mardos?
Life is full of nothingness.
It's King I forgot. I'm sorry. Oh. But hey, we can always go back for King Taka when we are
When will we
as
ever
weak
pass
as
through this
we are now.
shithole again?
Huh?
When will we ever pass through this shithole again? Blueberry doesn't notice me. I lost the fight to King. I couldn't even bring her the head of this beast. She'll never notice me.
Is there a depression modifier you can put on Murdos?
Give me angsty.
Disadvantage on
Hey.
every roll.
Mardos,
Yeah.
at least we beat the monsters that were actively bothering her, and nobody in town has ever come close to beating King Taka, and you did, well, you did a number on him, so it's not all that bad.
He downed my ass. Did you see me? I floated to the top of that water and sprang up, filled with life, but only a little bit. It was like a mosquito went and just pecked me with just a little bit of life. Y'all gonna have to deal with a mopey Martos today. Martos don't want to move no more. Martos sad. That's how you know she's sad. She speaks in third person now.
This rolls
Oh.
disadvantage on every roll from now on. It's just, what's the
No,
point?
Nothing matters. Let me throw my axe. Oh wait, I can't throw a fucking axe. I left both of those bitches.
Well, we might not be able to get those axes, but there have to be axes somewhere. Anywhere.
Next time I see Kentucky, he better have my axe in him.
Alright.
Hey, at least that'll be something to look forward to.
You make your way back down. Oh, his wits might already be. Yeah, he's up here. Wits teleports to the table. Alright.
Yep.
Make your way down the stairs. Where Elias is just kind of leaning against the counter and says, pleasant morning to y'all. How'd y'all sleep?
I slept well.
Like a baby.
Well enough.
You all were looking, pretty rough yesterday, but seemed like you passed yourselves up just fine.
Yes, it's a wonder what a good night's rest can do.
It's almost like magic.
Indeed. So, what's for breakfast, Elias?
Well, still got some eggs.
Do you have any cheese? I perhaps would like to try one of those grilled cheeses.
Still got some cheese here, yeah. Think we got some bread. Hasn't gone too stale.
Could you add some meat to it, perhaps?
I suppose I could. I don't have any more of that leech left, unfortunately.
It is unfortunate. However, another substitute will do.
Well, alright.
I'll just take some eggs, since you already have them.
I can't believe we're talking about common cooking meat. It's a substitute for leech now.
This is how D&D works.
Yeah, this is how actual common foods were made. Everyone just suddenly stopped eating leeches. That's because they figured out that grilled cheeses were much easier to make.
Well, alright. I'll get to cooking for y'all.
Thank you.
He also just kind of looks at Wits, just kind of expecting you to order more ale.
I think I'll pass this time. I'm feeling real good. I'm already loose.
Well, alright then. I get to work on breakfast. Anything for you over there? He calls out to Martos on the table on the far end.
Bring me something to fill the void has consumed me.
Well, far as void filling goes, can make you some eggs. Got some more of that grilled cheese you called it?
Can you put cheese in my eggs?
Alright, I can do that.
That will fill the void for now. Thank you. How about you give me a gun?
I'll get right to it.
Oh yes, Martos, I don't believe you were conscious, but we did find out some more information about the assassins.
Oh, great. Some more shit I gotta deal with.
Oh yeah. Should we head west today to deal with that?
I got some rage pent up. I think I can deal with this. Yeah, so let's do that.
Indeed.
I need
Taking
a
out
win.
your rage on murders is a pretty valid way to do that, I guess.
I like
But yeah.
to do this.
We should tell you the specifics. So the bandits have been camped out in an abandoned words. What? I forgot the word.
Altar, Sybil.
Altar. Yeah, they're an abandoned altar.
Called.
They're camping there.
You think I can get another goat in?
That'll be what Jeopardy night's like. So I'm just getting you guys prepped for it. I'm just teasing. You don't have to remember what it's called.
Wait, the name of the altar?
Yeah.
It is. Hang on, give me a second. Meyer, Meld, Sanctum.
What else? You want
Indeed.
some brownie
Hey,
points?
I take these notes for you guys and for me.
I can't remember.
I take
I-
notes and then I
remember
misplace them.
Sanctum.
I tell myself I'm gonna take notes, but then I just get so into it, and I just forget.
Here you are, ma'am. Some cheesy eggs to fill the void in your soul.
I love you.
Which kind of just like says under his breath, not as much as you love his daughter.
What was that?
Oh, nothing. Just talking to myself.
All right. Well, you enjoy your breakfast.
Thank you. Cheers.
Draven's gonna eat. What kind of meat did I get? Is it like a ham and cheese or? What they got
Yeah,
around
it's
here?
some old kind of dried ham, so resembling sort of bacon.
Okay, cool. Draven's gonna eat that. Yeah, meat would be better raw, but it's not quite bad.
You must have quite the immune system, Draven. You eat a lot of raw meat.
I have traveled through the forest, and sometimes you don't want predators knowing where you are, so lighting a fire is not always an option.
That's valid.
So Draven's gonna finish eating, and then stand up. Well, unless anyone has any other plans, perhaps we should head west.
Which this sighs, and it's a kind of an obnoxious sigh. He's like, "Yeah, let's go."
Martos, will you be joining us? Do we need to drag you along?
Yeah. I hope there's people I can kill when we get there.
I'll make sure of it.
You are such a good friend.
All right. Just give me a sec to grab the other two.
Wow, we're already outside, in front of them.
All right. Then the four of you make your way out into the early morning mist of mornings in Bogrest. It's relatively quiet in the town, but it usually is generally pretty quiet. You can hear the occasional sort of bird chirp in the distance, and the sounds of insects occasionally buzzing around your ears.
Martos, perhaps you should lead. We don't want you to get too far behind. I know you're feeling down.
Right now, what were you two doing last night? Eyebrows.
Pardon?
I will. Hey, whatever y'all do between yourselves is your thing. But I feel as a team. Eyebrow. It would be nice to know
Does the
what's
team
happening.
does the team really want to know that I took a leak in the middle of the night?
Draven's
Took a leak with Draven. I'm going,
Draven doesn't pick up on what Martos is putting down, and
I've lost my token.
he responds, "Yes, I'll be honest with you. Wits and I had a midnight rendezvous. What of it?"
I feel like my personality is back with this knowledge. Thank you very much for confirming. I support y'all.
Yes, I should hope you support us, as we are your companions.
Yeah, not in that way.
Okay, I laughed, but Sybil also doesn't understand the implication.
So much like the eastern side of town, the boardwalk eventually turns to mud, then to dirt, then to grass. with twisted, sort of old-looking trees covered in moss on all sides as you make your way east.
West.
West, yes. Sorry.
Yeah, another frog. I'll have
West.
to carry my dead body down.
The fifth coordinate
Yeah.
direction.
All right.
You know, from a technical standpoint, if you're not moving, you are heading west.
Wizard, sit down. You can just sit down.
That was a very wizard thing to say.
Very wizard.
Well, I'm glad I'm a wizard.
All right. So making your way along this sort of muddy grass here, heading west, you eventually see up ahead that the grass starts to dip back down into the grimy waters below. Getting just a slight little bit of feedback from somebody. I'm not quite sure what it is. Oh, it's Sybil. But it's not enough to be that annoying, so if you can't fix it, don't worry.
Oh yeah, sorry. I don't have a table right now.
That's alright.
I can move my computer a bit to see if that helps.
I think it's just like background noise. It's not actually feedback.
Yeah, there's also a cat running around in here, so that might.
It just
also
sounds like a soft little like it's not enough to be that annoying, so I wanted to bring it up just in case you could fix it easily, but if you can't, don't worry about it.
Okay, sorry
It's
about
just bugs in the swamp.
Yeah. It's the hissing of snakes all around you.
Wonderful.
I thought that was part of Roll20.
Alright. So eventually you see that the grass turns back down, sloping into water, and you can see that the boardwalk resumes.
Thank God I can go a map without regretting not picking shape water as a cantrip.
Alright, Martel, stop.
Oh no.
Perception check.
No. Click.
Oh no!
Yes.
There's
Only
nothing
that
there.
one today.
There's nothing there.
One.
I'm minding my business. Which way we have to go again?
Oh, we gotta go west.
West. Yes, this is.
I'm
the
pretty
way.
sure that's what she said, right, Draven?
Yes, west.
Alright, Martos, as you walk, just stop for a sec, everybody. Martos, as you walk, and you reach about here, and you see in front of you, on this sort of little grassy island, a glimmer of white, and you're not quite sure what it is. It's sort of buried in the grass slightly and covered in moss. But as you approach another 2 steps, you see what it is. It is a moss-covered skeleton.
That looks like a body. Yep.
Well, Martus, no to be down anymore.
I am taking its skull. Give me this.
How decomposed does the skeleton look for the body?
It is a skeleton.
So
Skeleton moss.
like crumbling skeleton or like solid bones?
Solid bones, but covered in moss.
Would there be any possible way for me to make a medicine check to determine like cause of death? Like, are there any markings on the bones? Like, was it struck, or would that be like
Make a medicine check, yeah.
flesh stuff? Yeah. Okay. Uh, 15.
Several of its ribs are broken.
Yes, it appears its ribs were broken. Perhaps we should watch out for things that might crush or constrict us in this area.
Well, it feels like a lot of us can move decently fast, so maybe it's something we can dodge. But never can be too careful.
Indeed. Is that a new toy for you, Martos?
I got a hand puppet now. As I talk,
Oh.
with the skull in my hand.
Okay.
It's good to see you feeling better.
I'll do whatever it can to make me happy. I'm saying
Yeah.
all this while moving the mouth of the skull. The skull is speaking to y'all.
I'm surprised she didn't start scooping up all the bones and trying putting them in a backpack.
Nope, I only want the skull, honey.
Well, Draven makes a mental note to buy Martos a toy if she's ever feeling sad.
Well, at least you got something to play with now.
I can find happiness again.
That makes 2 characters that find happiness in dead things.
Who's the other one?
Draven.
I wonder.
Give me 2 seconds. I need to do something.
Not a good sign.
All right.
RP amongst yourselves.
So, Martos, this fascination with bones, is that recent or have you always had it?
You know what? It kind of just comes out of the blue, you know? I don't think it's always been there. Maybe it has. Maybe it's connected.
Well, at least it's always good to have a hobby, but...
I got like a toothpick. I just rip a rib off and start digging in my teeth with it.
You know, I take back what I said about the hobby.
What's wrong with the hobby?
Well, you know what? I'll just leave it at that.
Listen, Wits, I've traveled quite a bit of the other continent, and people everywhere have different hobbies. Some of them stranger than others. We should accept Martos for how
I
peculiar
am
she
not
is.
hurting anybody by doing
Believe me,
He
I've
hasn't felt pain for probably a long time.
It's going to waste here. I could use this.
believe me, Draven. I've had quite a few people come across me that have definitely had some strange hobbies. Just bone collecting is I can't say that's one that I've seen.
Bone collecting isn't entirely abnormal. I've heard of people making art out
Yeah,
of
but wearing it and playing with it is
Are you
definitely
telling me
unusual.
this hat does not look cool? Look me in my goat eyes and tell me that.
No, it looks cool. But the knowledge of you pulling out all kind of guts and flesh from the undead to wear
Do
it,
you want to wear the guts and undead flesh?
which
answer
is
is no.
sighs as he knows that this argument's getting nowhere and stops talking.
That is a point for me. I have won this battle.
Wits, be careful. We're on a boardwalk. She could throw you off.
Well, I didn't piss her off. I just,
You mean to Jellycap?
you know, I like to learn, but some things I find it best to not understand.
I was quite friendly with Jellycap the other night. I'll have you know.
Well, at least you're making progress.
It's not Draven. Now Mercy's gonna think we had a threesome with Jellycat.
What's that?
So there was a twosome happening. Y'all did the frickle frackle.
I don't know what this frickle frackle is.
I don't know how else to say it, but y'all did the frickle frackle.
Oh yeah, that's they call it in Orcish.
The frickle frackle. I thought.
Wits, did you tell them what we did?
What do you think? I just went and
No?
took a lake.
You,
Yes.
I don't know what the problem is.
you as a party, y'all can keep your secrets. That is okay. Me and Sybil will support you unconditionally because we love caresses Draven's back and support you. Okay.
Draven's skin crawls a little bit. Well, I appreciate the support. We had planned on keeping it between us, but now that you're aware, I appreciate your support.
You two will have your own place for now on. It must be very awkward with me and Sybil in there.
Look, even if there was anything that happened, you don't see us, you know, pestering you about your relationship with the innkeep, or not the innkeep, the general store.
That's because there's nothing there. I'm working on it. I get nervous.
I know, it's just as much between Draven and I as there is with you and the general storekeep.
Oh no, I tell them.
Wait a minute, you and Draven are dating?
That's what I'm telling you. That's what they snuck off last night.
Wait, Matos and the general storekeep are criminals?
Wait, what?
What?
Sorry.
There is a lot of things going on here that I feel I
Okay,
don't want to
well,
deal with right now.
okay, well, I said that just about as much is going on between Draven and I as you and the storekeep. So
So
if you
you
think
all
you're
want-
dating, I want you to go right back. Once we get back to Borgrest, I want you to go back and just kiss her.
Well, I can't kiss her. Yeah, I gotta take her on a date.
Exactly, y'all aren't dating. Moving on.
I'm
And then-
in love with her, and you must be in love with Draven. Just admit it. Why y'all sneaking up? Y'all already doing the frickle frackle. Just admit it. You don't. No, I stand. But I don't want to pry. Y'all do what you come out when you are ready. Me and Sybil will support. Sybil?
Huh?
Let's
I
not
have
mess
no
with
idea
her.
what's going on.
Draven's like confused, but he looks at Wits and he says, Wits, I'm flattered, but I'm not interested.
Absolutely not. And he just bolts off or walks off on that because he's tired of talking.
What the hell were y'all doing last night? You know what? No. Y'all did the frickle frackle. That is okay.
All right, I was done
Well,
4
I don't
minutes
know.
ago, but I was enjoying that, so I let it happen.
Yeah, I figured.
Okay.
What were you gonna say, Sybil?
No, we're good. Let's just keep going.
Okay. Then you make your way along the boardwalks, periodically stopping, and sort of the boardwalk stops on an island and then continues along another boardwalk. And you travel for around maybe half an hour. And eventually you see that boardwalk stop and you're on another little island. And as you stand on this island, before you, you see sort of a large expanse of water. And at the very far end of it, this is what you see.
Don't want to see it anymore.
Oh, there's a boat.
Wait, I will be right back. I'll be
Oh
like, "Peace
god.
out."
I'm sorry, I just got jump scared by a cat.
It's part of my horror atmosphere. We're in collusion. Just trying to make you guys nervous. All right. So he said he was going to be right back, right?
Yeah.
Okay, then I suppose we can wait if he's not going to be gone that long before I describe everything and then just have to describe again.
I'm sorry, can you guys hear him? Is he being annoying?
Alright, I'm back.
Cats are never annoying.
I
I don't
can't.
hear.
I don't hear anything. Yeah, so you're good.
Okay.
Meow. I'm the cat.
Cats are annoying.
Also, we've had like birds chirping in the background, so cat noises. It's fine. All right. So before you is sort of a large expanse of water, with one kind of smaller island in the center of it, and on the far side you can see a larger, taller tree than the ones surrounding it, and it has sort of this big, massive bundle of roots at its base, sticking up out of the ground so that you can see them. And nestled inside of that bundle of roots is what appears to be a stone archway blocked by a large stone door.
All right, this is definitely a hideout. The torches seem lit. Are we going in sneakily or brazenly?
Let's go. Let's go.
Do you think the door is going to make a loud noise either way? That's a ton of stone grinding and moving all at once. We can't get in any other way, so.
I mean, we're gonna kill them anyway, though.
I think considering our last battle, maybe stealth first. And if not, we can get our hands dirty.
I am barbarian.
stealthy as we
do not
can.
stealth. Okay, we're gonna try, but.
Martos, make a perception roll for me.
Oh no!
That's what happens when you're leading the way.
I like to run.
All
I
right.
see nothing.
Then you do not hear anything, and are not alerted by the time this is able to creep up on you.
Ah, the crocodiles! Finally!
Oh.
This is the only time I think Sybil's been excited for a combat encounter.
and they
Are
are
those
going to get
logs?
a buff
Sybil is not
to
excited. I am excited.
the initiative roll that is happening right now.
Oh no!
Oh no.
Oh
God.
no!
What?
Oh no.
What are you guys doing?
Oh no.
Sybil's too entertained by the crocodiles, I guess.
She's just enjoying herself at this point.
Which is like, wow, look at those birds. Those are some very nice birds.
All
Yeah.
Draven.
We are rolling so many nat ones today.
This is just
Yeah,
unfortunate.
I'm a little concerned when battle comes in.
We're just rolling, I think we had a decent amount of nat 20s since we started, and we just completely made up for it this season.
All right.
Honestly, with that roll of an initiative roll, I wouldn't be surprised if we already started fighting and then Sybil notices that the crocodiles are there.
First to act is this crocodile, who has sort of it was swimming under the water, Sybil, and it managed to get right up close to you as it sort of breaches the water with a sudden roar and is going to attack you.
Oh
Does it
shit.
get advantage since I rolled a crit 1?
No.
Okay.
Pain.
I
That's
just,
good
I
at
just, I just gave them some bonuses to their initiative for you guys botching that perception.
Okay. So
They were not really
Huh?
attempting to ambush you; they just kind of swam towards you, and you didn't notice. All right. So this crocodile attacks you, and it hits. The perils of low AC.
Sorry.
And it is going to deal. It is going to deal 6 piercing
Okay.
as it grabs onto your legs with your leg with its fangs, and it is going to hold on. And you are now grappled.
Oh no.
Just to remind you.
I mean, it's grabbing. Oh god. There's alligators, guys.
So the rest of you hear
Ah.
Sybil cry out in pain all of a sudden and spin to face her and see a large, what you thought was a log before, a large crocodile latched onto her leg.
Quickly, secure our dinner.
What?
What?
Oh, I like food as much as the next guy, but now is not really the time to think about food.
Why not? We kill them and then eat them later.
They're eating me.
Yes, you should stop letting them do that. We are the predators here, Sybil.
Then you go do something about it.
Well, I will,
All right.
when it's my turn.
It is your turn.
Draven moves up and will bonus action Hunter's Mark the gator,
Okay.
and then action attack with rapier.
All right.
Feels bad, man.
You strike at it, but it is sort of thrashing around, attempting to pull Sybil down into the water, and you miss as some water splashes in your face.
All right. God, I think that's pretty much all my movement. Difficult terrain. So yeah, that's my turn.
All right.
Stop letting them eat you, Sybil. I'll go help you, Sybil.
Yes, well, it's quite hard to move around in the swamp.
Yeah, it is.
Point taken.
Martos, another crocodile lunges up out of the water and quickly makes its way across the grass towards you and is going to bite at you.
But this is just horrible. Them bitches are scary on land.
Alright. It misses.
Bitch.
Time to hit him with the thwomp.
Gotta thwomp him now.
Alright. So, it is now your turn, Martos.
I go for thwomp. I hit thwomp.
Oh,
Nice thwomp.
I sad thwomp him.
You hit like the side of the great axe, like where the blade isn't.
Oh shit, hold on guys. I usually do hand axes, okay? I'm rusty with the great axe.
You did like all your damage to the King Taco with the great axe.
Are you trying to tenderize him, Martos?
You said you wanted dinner, I am providing.
I appreciate that.
Alright,
So if you didn't miss yours, you could get it yourself.
you bring your great axe down, but only manage to just sort of slice it slightly, and aren't able to really get a good cleave. Anything else you would like to do?
Chilling.
Alright. Wits, it's your turn.
Sybil, you think you can handle that one right there? I know it's still chomping on you, but...
I think I can.
Alrighty then.
Martos.
Fritz will use Ray of Frost on this one right there.
On this one?
Yes, the one in front of Martos.
Gotcha.
Ooh.
Hey!
Oh, look at that. Whoa!
I made a pog face.
Whoa!
Hang on, I gotta cast Pog Frog real quick.
Yeah.
Alright. So 7 and 6. Nice roll. Alright. You see that crocodile sort of glaze over slightly with a thin coating of frost. And you see parts of where you sort of hit it with that ray are now sort of turning black and frostbitten. But it is,
now it should be easier to hit.
it is still alive. Anything else, Wiz?
Let us see. I can only move like 15 because of the strain.
Mhm.
I will just reposition behind Martos and let her soak up all the damage.
Alright.
Thanks.
Then, Sybil, it is now your turn.
Alright, I'm going to hit this thing with a stick.
Yes, good
You're
job.
kidding me!
You tenderize
Hit
it
me
as
with a
well.
stick.
Does that hit?
Not even Shillelagh.
A 12 to hit does hit.
Oh, good, okay.
I was about to say, not even the Shillelagh saves you.
5! Okay.
Alright.
He gets pushy insides.
You enchant your staff, empowering it, and bring it down on top of the crocodile's head. But it does not seem too phased by that. Would you like to do anything else?
I do not believe I can. I'm currently stuck in the jaws of a crocodile.
Yeah.
Ask him nicely to let go.
All it's doing by grappling you is stopping you from moving.
Yeah. Well, I don't have any other actions I think I can do. Yeah. I don't have any other actions I think I can do.
Alright. Then this crocodile is just gonna bite down harder on your leg.
Ah! Okay.
So it releases its jaw for a moment and then snaps at you again. And that's gonna hit.
How much?
For 3 piercing. Low roll.
That's not terrible. Okay.
Well, you better get that thing off your leg before you lose it completely.
And it is now latched back onto you.
Working on it.
Are you sure you don't need any help?
Draven,
I probably will. Draven.
it's your turn now.
Blood in the water, no Draven, focus. Going for a rapier stab.
Alright.
Oh, thank God. 12.
It'd be really funny if you missed because you noticed the blood in the water.
That would be why we explained if he did miss.
Yeah.
Nice. 11 piercing from that, and then Hunter's Mark. Additional 5 for 16 total. And I'm going to move right there, and that's my turn.
You stab this crocodile sort of right through the eye, and it twitches and releases Sybil's leg and stops moving.
Oh,
Thank
he
you.
died. Okay, then actually, so it's 5 feet, 10, 15. I'll move right there, and I will bonus action swap my Hunter's Mark onto the frostbitten one. And that will be my turn.
Alright.
Come at me, bitch.
It is this crocodile's turn, and it is going to bite you again, Martos. And that one's going to hit. And you are non-raged, so that's going to be 6 piercing.
He extra kinky.
And he sinks his fangs into your leg and is latched on now. It is now your turn. Alright, that hits. Alright, so Martos, you feel a sharp pain in your leg as this crocodile bites down hard and sort of has this vice grip on your leg. And then you sort of reel back and bring your great axe down right on top of its head. And it twitches and thrashes and falls still, releasing its grip on your jaw.
Pick my leg out of it real fast. Are you
And then-
satisfied, Draven? You have your lunch now?
The swamp falls silent once more.
Yes, indeed. Draven will come over here and kind of, I assume the crocodile's floating, or at least easily able to be moved through the water.
Yeah, it's sort of floating.
Oh, you don't want to go this one? This one's already cold.
Well, I was just dragging this one over to the center. We are on a
Frostbite.
mission right now. Thought we could come back later and harvest them.
Oh, yeah.
One
All right.
sec.
Some
Which
leeches in there. Extra
10-minute
snack.
breather.
Sybil and Marta, which one of you are a little more roughed up?
I am
Probably
bleeding
Sybil.
profusely.
Yeah, probably Sybil.
All right. Hold on to the
Nothing.
hold on to this potion just in case.
Okay. Do you remember though? I'm the only one in the party who has innate healing capabilities, and I'll be able to heal myself during combat at any time. I still have a lot of spell slot.
Well, I guess that's fair. Just saying.
Jay,
I didn't.
Sorry.
You can go. I was pretty much done.
Sorry, Jay, can I ritually cast Cure Wounds?
If it does not have the R next to it, you can't ritually cast it.
Ah, okay.
I was about to say it.
Oh well.
I
If
can
you
also
can-
heal myself.
If you could ritually cast Cure Wounds, it would be a little strong.
Yeah.
So, are we ready?
Yep.
It's as ready as we'll ever be.
Got an infection in my leg.
Feel prepared for the day. My
You
leg
can
is
take a
bleeding.
moment to simply wrap the injuries. It won't heal you, but it might stop them from getting infected if you wish. If you feel that's
I'm
more in
barbarian.
character than just walking around with a bloody wound on your leg.
I'm
Yeah.
barbarian.
God, especially walking through all this water you
Oh,
can have.
Sybil,
Exactly.
It's cleaning it. What do you mean? It's
Sybil
water.
does
It's
that.
clean.
Yeah, you could drink this. Go ahead.
Yeah, Sybil wraps up her leg in a makeshift, not quite cast, but just bandage.
Jesus
Alright.
Christ, we're rolling extremes today, aren't we?
Yeah, I can't believe I got a 20 on the thing that didn't on the like roleplay roll.
So on the far end of this sort of body of water, you see, of course, a boat, and it is tied up along the side of the shore here to a wooden peg that seems to have been hammered into the mud.
I want the rope.
Is there anything in the boat?
This
Yeah,
rope
that's
is
what
what
I
is tying the boat. It's the same rope. It's just to clarify, there's one rope. There's nothing in the boat except a couple oars.
Well, if this is someone's boat who we don't want leaving, perhaps we should sabotage it now, unless we plan on taking it afterwards.
Good idea.
I want the rope now.
Do we have anything to sabotage it with? I mean, don't want to permanently sabotage it, because if worse comes worse, we can take it ourselves.
Indeed.
Maybe some sort of trap they won't know that that's there, you suppose?
We could always just untie it and take it out to the center island and tie it up there.
Okay.
It could cause a bit of a delay if someone was rushing out. Who wants to go swimming back across the water?
Well, I know someone who really likes swimming, and her name is Martos.
Martos' leg is pierced. Martos is good. Martos wants rope though. Martos can move boat onto this little piece of land and take rope.
Yes, Martos, I'll help. And Draven will untie it from the stake, and like hand Martos the rope and just kind of kick the boat off from where it's at, like in the direction towards the center.
All right, you pull out the sharpened piece of wood from the mud and push the boat off towards the center island.
Which is just gonna kind of stand over here and kind of keep watch. Well, Sybil's doing her thing, and Draven and Mars are doing their thing.
I'm just waiting to get this door open.
So Sybil, before you is sort of a stone archway that has been sort of like built into the roots, and the roots have sort of grown around it to kind of encompass it. And within this sort of stone arch is this flat stone door, just completely smooth, except for if you kind of run your hand along it, has like the slightest rough texture to it. But it is not marked with anything. It is just a blank stone door.
All right, Draven, could you hand me that ink pot before you do stuff with your boat over there?
Certainly. Draven will fish out the ink pot and quill from, well, I don't know if she gave me a quill, but I got the ink pot. I'll give that to Sybil.
Witz hears about this ink pot and looks back. I'm like, oh, you got an ink pot?
Just for
Yes.
this.
I was going
Well-
to use blood, but it seemed more efficient to use ink.
Well, I mean, I have a quill that can be used infinitely.
No.
Can a quill write on stone?
Not as easily as it could on parchment, but if you kind of went over it a couple times, probably.
Let's just go with the ink, it's easier. So the symbol was something like this, right? Vertical lines? I forgot.
Close.
Okay.
Yeah, that one's closer to it. All right. So you're just sort of dipping your finger in the ink, or what are you doing?
I'm just dipping my finger in the ink and painting it on the door.
All right.
Wait, what?
What was that?
Oh no.
All right.
Oh, that was in response to the smiley face.
You dip your finger in and trace those sort of 3 lines to make up that rune. And as you complete the last line, You pause for a moment. At first, you're not sure if it worked, and then you hear this sort of deep, grinding stone noise as the door just begins to slide out of the way, sort of rotating back into the other part of the stone arch.
Draven will have his rapier ready, battle stance.
And before you, you see sort of a tunnel made mostly of sort of dirt and rock. And you can see sort of roots kind of poking out of the side of the dirt walls. And that slopes downwards, kind of deeper into the earth. Seems like whatever this altar was, it was a little bit underground. And it continues onward for quite a bit, and fades off into darkness past the border of your vision.
Well.
I'll go first.
All right, Draven. You want us to stay behind a bit so you can sneak up on them easier?
Indeed, if they are present, it would be preferable.
All right, you head on ahead.
All right, Draven's gonna cautiously enter.
Actually, hang on one second. Not sure why this is not here, but I guess I will just do it again.
Oh no.
Well, wait, I cast Pog Frog.
Only take 2 seconds. All right.
Would you say you cast Pogfrog, or are you actually casting?
No, I'm not going to cast Pog Frog.
Okay.
I really want to. I really do, but I don't want to be too disruptive right now.
All right. Then Draven leading the way. You make your way. Here, let me line you guys up and copy. There we go. You make your way down the tunnel, sort of sloping gently downwards into Meld's Sanctum. All right, let's get some different ambience here. Luna, you know this one. All right. You travel a short distance along the tunnels with Draven leading the way. Again, sort of out of the side of the dirt and stone are these sort of gnarled, twisted roots that sort of burst their way out through the dirt and just kind of sit against the wall. Got tricked by the paint tool again.
Yep.
It's just this little garden snake.
And Draven, as you continue along, you pause because the road splits. Off to your left and off to your right, there are 2 separate tunnels. Each has a bit down it, a few paces away, a torch that flickers orange along the wall. Also in the center, sort of nestled amongst these roots, you can see a few mushrooms growing.
Hey, give me a sec, my cat.
You have a cat with you?
Wow.
Are we still opposed to flipping a coin for decisions?
I see that
Alright.
mushroom right there, and I trust Jellycap, and I want to follow the mushroom.
Or we could, maybe we could try scouting both ways, and then come right back here.
I don't think splitting up is gonna be fun. But I'm for it. Yeah.
Well, if we can remain stealthy, I would. If we aren't able to remain stealthy, which I've learned isn't your expertise, I guess I agree.
Barbarian smash. We don't go quietly.
Right.
Well, I could go a bit of a ways down one path and let you know what I find. How far away can you cast message?
I can cast it pretty far. Here, let me see. 120 feet.
maybe you just want to stay. Perhaps you could stay, I don't know, 60 feet behind me or so, roughly. And then keep in contact with me so I can
Right,
report anything quietly.
Well, that sounds good. If we still have line of sight, just kind of nod at me if you need to tell me something.
All right. So I guess Draven's gonna. Martis mentioned the mushroom way, so Draven's gonna head that way. Just a bit ahead of everyone.
All right,
And then
Draven,
with
you,
this
you can see more of these sort of mushrooms growing along the side of the cavern wall, much larger than any sort of fungi you've ever seen before. They appear to be growing rather large in here.
Okay.
Alright, what are we doing?
Do you guys want to fill
Dra-
her in on what you're doing?
Yeah,
I'm
Draven's
sorry about that.
No worries.
Draven's scouting ahead a bit, like roughly 60 feet ahead of the party if line of sight prevails, and he's gonna message, or Wits is gonna message him so we can communicate with each other if there's something ahead that we need to know about.
Okay.
Draven's gonna try to move stealthily, so just let me know if I need to make a stealth roll now, Jay.
Yeah, make a stealth roll just because you're by default moving stealthily, and then we'll just write that one down and keep it
Okay.
in case something happens.
Yeah.
23.
Very nice.
Good roll. All right. The tunnel continues down a decent amount of time, so you can tell me if there's a point in which you would turn back and go back to get the group. But the tunnel goes down for maybe about 10 or 15 minutes off in this direction. It is kind of long, winding, turns a little bit to the left, a little bit to the right, but in general heads the same direction.
I would say after probably about like 5 or so minutes, I would have messaged back and asked if we want to continue. Or I mean, I would have nodded to Wits to get him to message me.
Yeah.
Alright.
With your vision, you can see that it continues off into the distance past that, so you know that it will be a little bit further as well.
Wait, is it light enough for Wits to see my nod in here? Like the torches continue, or does it get dark?
The torches do continue, but they're spaced pretty far apart. There's only throughout your whole maybe 10-15 minute journey. There's about 4 of them, so they're pretty far apart.
Yeah, and if I'm familiar enough with what you look like, I can still cast it even if I don't have direct line of sight.
Gotcha. I'll just make sure to stop at one of the torches anyway, just so we can see like my profile.
All right.
And,
You see him up ahead, flickering in the torchlight whiz.
And I will cast message.
All right. Draven, you hear his voice echo in your head.
All right, what do you see?
I'll relay back. It just seems like it keeps continuing. Do we want to keep going this way?
I will cast message again. Well, if you like, you can come back and we can do the same thing on the other way.
No, I worry that the other way will be the same.
I will cast message again. Well, I guess it's up to you, but you know, you never know.
Just ask the others.
All right. So Draven says that it just keeps going on, and it doesn't really seem any change. So should you think you should come back and we do the same on the other side, or should we just head this way?
We could split off. That sounds like a horrible idea. That's what happens in all bad newspapers.
Yeah. With how far it seems these caverns go, I don't think splitting off would be a good idea.
Can Draven make a survival check and see if I can determine any like tracks of any beasts or any creatures that have come through here?
All right. Go ahead.
Yeah. 12.
There doesn't appear to be anything there. Nothing that's followable.
Gotcha.
See just sort of like weird markings in the dirt, but they could just be weird natural markings. Pretty hard to tell.
All right, what do we think? I think we should at least check the other way, just to see.
Yeah, same here.
By you, Maltus? Okay, great.
Yeah, that's all Marto's got to say.
I cast message back to Draven. All right, come back. We're gonna check the other way too to see if it's the same.
All right. Draven will jog back.
A leisurely jog.
All right, same thing then.
Yep. What was that noise? What the?
Yeah, that's the creepy music, dude.
It sounded like pretty tame, and then suddenly it sounded like I was in a movie of aliens.
It's just like this one noise that happens in this ambiance. Like, it's a several minute long ambiance, but it happens like once during the whole thing. It's 10 minutes long. It happens at like 8 minutes in, and every single time I play it for a new group, they're always like, "What the hell was that?"
I mean, I knew it wasn't like anything important. I was just like, why is that in this track?
I know it feels a little out of place to me too, but I find it funny, so I keep using this one.
Yeah, that's fair.
It's also really good ambience for the rest of the time when it's not doing that weird noise. All right, continuing now along the other path. There are also torches along this tunnel, placed a little more frequently this time though. But this tunnel is a little more brightly lit because of that. But it continues for quite some distance as well, and it feels pretty similar to the other one. But there's less fungal growth and more torches.
I'll stop at one of the torches and nod to Wits.
I'll cast message. All right. What do you say?
Well, I don't know if you've noticed, but it appears this path is more traveled, being more torches and whatnot.
Cast message again. Oh, I see. Well, if that's the case, then whoever we're looking for is down here. So you think we should go this way?
Likely. Perhaps you all should move up a little closer.
Right. Which just kind of nods back in distance and then turns back to Sybil and Martos. All right. It appears that this route's a little more traveled. So whoever we're looking for is probably over here.
All right.
We got away. Let's go. Axe is itching.
This fork in the road was literally like this is the choice of us choosing between the mission or Jellycap lore.
Vengeance for the corn man.
A single tear rolls down Jellycap's cheek as you go the opposite way of the mushrooms.
Stop.
He senses it from all the way over here. just no. Why?
All right. Just give me 1 second. So I'm assuming Draven continuing kind of out ahead of everybody.
Yeah, not quite as far as last time, though. Not like 60 feet ahead, just a little bit further ahead.
All right.
Maybe like 20 feet or so.
Then you're obviously first to see the next cavern before you, and it is actually pretty well lit. So you can see it from a distance away, but as you draw near, you see what is within this cavern. The others are a little bit back. I'm gonna put you on the screen anyway, but you're a little bit back from him.
And it's King Taka again.
Yeah, it's 4 King Takas. Fight them all now. Go.
God, please, no.
All right, I cast 4 Queen Takas.
Oh my.
So Draven, the others are still back a little bit, but Draven, you see these sort of hunched over creatures, and they're sort of shaped like a dog and approximately the size of a wolf, but as they sort of pant and pace, you see that they are a little too off to be a dog. And they sort of have this like snarling low growl as they sort of pace. They have not seen you yet with your stealth roll. And as they sort of pace around, you can see around their necks collars, and from that collar, rope, which is tied to a post here.
Draven will turn around to look at the group, hold up 3 fingers on his hands, and then do like a cutting throat motion, and then point ahead.
which is gonna cast message. What kind of enemies do you see?
Some kind of wolf dog creature. I don't know. They look ferocious. They're tied up, but they might break free.
Cast message again. Well, just be careful not to alert them. If they get loud, then whoever else is down here will definitely know we're here.
Yes, well, it's hard to be careful. They're kind of in the way.
I'll cast message again. Do you want to come back and we can come up with a strategy?
Yes. Draven will attempt to walk back to the party without the things noticing.
All right, you make your way kind of back along the tunnel a little bit. I'm just gonna bring you back here to differentiate. But you make your way about as far away as you imagine the creatures wouldn't be able to hear you, and sort of huddle up.
So what's the plan? Do you have any magic to keep them from alerting anyone?
Well, I'm not exactly sure what kind of magic will keep them quiet. That's
Actually,
the difficult part here.
Draven, as the one who was closest, can you make a animal handling check for me?
Yeah. Yeah, I can.
Oh,
Nice.
All right.
you ride the dog into combat.
As they were sort of pacing around, they were sort of sniffing the dirt, and you saw one maybe like grab a bone and chew on it for a sec, and then just kind of spit it out again and keep pacing. And then
Does
they're
anyone have
sniffing
any
the dirt.
meat or rations on them?
Rations?
Well, I know someone who has a few bones.
Those are my
Oh,
bones.
I have rations.
Yes, I don't believe Martos is going to be parting with her trophies. Sybil, if you would care to throw out a few pieces of perhaps dried jerky,
course.
we could perhaps keep these beasts occupied. All right. So that's the plan then. And if the plan fails, we just kill them.
Yeah, that's
have-
always the plan.
If it fails, I can, well, they'll make a loud noise, but I can entangle them and make it easier for you all.
Sounds good. All right. Ready?
Ready?
Might as well ever be.
Let's get some
Alright.
killing going.
Gonna start
If we don't
approaching.
have to kill them, let's please not do that. Only if they initiate combat.
We could
They're
get
not
some
going to be able to
pets.
get. They're not going to be able to get far, but I'm just mostly worried about keeping them quiet.
I guess Draven's gonna kind of walk up with Sybil if she's coming out. Sybil, you're the one giving the meat or the rations, right?
Am I? Oh, I thought you rolled animal hand. Oh, okay.
Oh, well, I mean,
Just-
I can. You just mentioned you had them. I can give him some of my rations too. That's fine.
He rolled animal handling just
I thought
for
I
me to give
handed
him
them
that
to you.
info, but the actual handing over can be done by anybody. It was just for me to give him that sort of hint.
Okay, Okay, sorry. I can do the animal handling check for that to give them rations. In that case, I have a higher modifier than you.
Okay. It's up to you, whoever you want.
Alright, so I come along with Draven.
If you want to.
Yep, you
Okay.
going.
Can I help her then? Like provide assistance?
I don't particularly see how that would change the creature's perception of you. I don't really see a way to help. If you can describe a way that you think you could help, then maybe, but I can't see one.
Walk up saying, "Who's a good boy?"
As it bites your hand off.
I mean, you certainly try that.
Good luck, Sybil.
Thank you. Can you get my token on the screen?
You are on screen. You might just.
Oh, I just didn't see it.
Sometimes you have to either zoom in or zoom out a little bit because Roll20 can be a little weird.
Okay. Here goes nothing. Hey, doggies. You
Alright.
want some delicious jerky?
The one closest to you kind of turns and snarl slightly in the other's turn as well. They haven't sort of made any loud noises, but you see sort of these hairs along their back kind of bristle slightly, as they seem kind of cautious of you.
Can I just kind of extend the jerky towards them?
Okay. Like holding it out in your hand or placing it on the ground, or what are you doing?
I kind of step forward a little bit and place it at their feet and then take a step back.
All right. It was sort of bristling and cautious, but as you step up, instead of focusing on you, it shifts its attention to the food that you left in the dirt. And you see it sort of approach a little bit, and you can kind of see that rope coiling slightly as it pulls along. And it now sniffs the food that you've left in the dirt for a little bit, and then looks once more at you, and then just begins to eat the food. With you can kind of see these large fanged jaws as it begins to eat.
Aww.
Draven's gonna kind of ease up and just like back to the cave wall, slide around, and he's gonna fish out a ration of his own and kind of throw it like in the center there for the other dogs.
All right, this one kind of head started to like bristle and make its way, trying to like corner you, but as you throw it, it sort of follows it through the air, and then goes and sniffs the ground where it landed, and also begins to eat.
I have more rations. Can I give some more to this little dude here?
Yeah, you can sort of pilot. It's focusing on the meat right now, so it doesn't
Okay.
really seem to be paying too much attention to you. Which this
I
one just
can-
sort of locks eyes with you.
He just nervously pulls out some
Lets
of his
out a
rations.
snarl.
He nervously pulls out some of his rations and kind of gives it a light toss to about like here-ish, to where it lands right in front of him.
All right. It focuses instead on the meat.
Which then wants to avoid them, so it goes this way now.
All right. Give me one sec, Draven. I know what you want.
Yeah,
I was thinking the exact same thing.
just patiently waiting.
All right. Let me see. The closet that Draven is at holds a bottle of alcohol.
Which darts his head over. Not messing out, really. He doesn't
It is
know.
a kind of long-necked, actually rather elegant-looking bottle. It seems to be wine.
All right, Draven will take that and place it into his pack.
It does have a piece of parchment sort of wrapped around the outside of it, with a very elegantly drawn label as to what it is, if you want to read it. But
Oh
if you-
yeah, definitely.
Right. It is elven flower wine.
Fancy.
Elven flower wine.
Martos. The closet that you approach and sort of creak open has a bit of a bad smell to it as you open it. It is stacked with these sort of hung up slices of old looking and ever so slightly moldy cured meats. They look rather stale.
Draven, you think they'll eat this as a whole piece of slab moldy meat up?
Think who? The dogs?
Yeah, you two, I guess, but yeah.
Yes, I would not eat that, but yes,
Oh.
perhaps the dogs would.
I'm gonna hold it like a little bit, grab a handful. Good little good biscuit.
All right. Sybil, what are you up to?
Hmm?
What are you
So
up to?
I gave this one a little bit more, and
All right.
Sybil's just kind of less cautious now that they're eating, and she just gave them some more rations.
Yeah, you kind of gave them an extra little bit to their pile.
Yeah.
All right, I
She's like
understand.
making a little pile of like
Yeah.
jerky over here.
Okay.
Okay. And with that, she goes over here.
Right, are we ready to move on?
Yep, that should keep them occupied for a little bit. They must be starving, the poor things, to make them
Well,
more
I
aggressive.
just
It's
left.
so cruel.
I left a shit ton of moldy ass meat I found out for them. So,
Well,
hopefully we figure it out.
hopefully we don't alert them and these guys don't block us on our way out.
Hopefully they remember us.
Hopefully.
What is up with this door? I want to check it for traps.
Okay, the door on the far end of the room looks a little bit sturdy. It is made sort of embedded into this wall that you see before you here, and the wall is made of these sort of stacked stone bricks. And the door itself looks like it is sort of bolted in, and it is this wrought iron door. You can see a little keyhole beneath the knob, but you can check it for traps if you want to.
Sure. Investigation or?
Yep, that's fine. I don't see any traps, do you?
The door appears safe. However, I do not have a key. Anyone have any ideas?
Draven, do you have any? Does anyone have anything to pick it or anything like that? I really do not want to try knocking this thing down.
Darn, that
capable.
sure would have been useful.
Yes, I'm capable. However, I do not have the tools on me.
Maybe they have a little rock for when they get locked out, and they can just pick it up and the keys under it. I don't know. Other than that, we're just gonna have to smash this thing down.
If you do want to look for that, you can do a group investigation roll.
Do any of the dogs have keys on them while we just smashing this door? Yeah, sometimes, like in the old movies, they put little keys on the dogs.
I think you probably shouldn't bother the dogs right now.
I don't think that
might make them aggressive.
I don't think that they would leave the key to the hideout that obvious.
Would you fuck with the dogs?
We just did.
We fed them.
Yeah. They're probably a deterrent to most people.
I doubt they trust people very much. I don't think it'd be safe to poke around them, even if they're friendly toward. Not friendly.
Well,
even if we fed them.
Time to start smashing then.
Well, hold on. Perhaps maybe we could make a knock on the door to try to lure one of them to open it. And if it's just one person, maybe we could take them.
Oh, one person knocks or an illusion knocks, and then the rest of us ambush them?
Yeah, or if we want to, maybe we can look through the keyhole and see if it's a room directly on the other side, if it's more cavern.
Okay.
Because if it's more cavern, then perhaps maybe just one person will come and open the door. But if it's a room, that might be a little riskier.
There could always be another way around from the left cave tunnel.
Not sure. We'd have to make a long trek, and if it's not there, we'd have to make the long trek back, and who knows what might be in that part of the cave. I think we should take our chances with this door.
Let's take a look through the hole. Any takers? Or I guess I'll do it.
Yeah.
I think Draven's the most perceptive.
Yeah, true.
Unless you just want to do it, Wits, that's fine too.
No, you can go ahead. I'd rather that for that.
Alright, Draven, at the mention of Wits' idea, Draven will step up and try to take a peek through the keyhole if possible.
Alright, it's a small little keyhole. There's it's gonna obscure most of your vision, so make a perception with disadvantage for me.
Okay.
And I'll use that to judge how much you can kind of see. Alright, not too bad. You can definitely see...
No, it was bad.
True, yeah, okay. I looked at the other roll, that's what it was.
Yeah, sorry.
Okay, then you can see definitely some flickering lights, but that's about it.
Okay. Can't quite get a view of anything.
Well, you think that maybe since we don't hear anything on the other side, that maybe the rest of the people that are there are further down into it?
It's possible.
Hmm.
However, I worry that if we smash this door, even though the dogs are fed now, they might react.
Oh, that's a good point.
Well, how long is the leads?
They're strong. They could break through them if they were vexed enough to, I think.
I know this is a bit grim, but they seem quite preoccupied now. Perhaps we could just sneak up and,
No, I have an idea. How about we try to lure them back into the pen with some more meat or something? Mardos, you said you found some in the cabinet?
Yes, I did.
I don't know how appetizing that meat is.
I still have some rations too, so we'll just throw those in there with the meat. Make it a bit more of a nice deal for them.
good idea.
Okay. Mardos, can you give me that meat really quick?
Yeah, I kind of already like placed it as like a little. That's why I can go pick it back up. But there's always. Like,
Oh, you made a trail.
That's what
I
you're
made a
doing. I was gonna
trail.
ask about that, but that's what you're
It's a
doing.
trail.
Okay.
All right. Can I see how tall this fence is?
It is taller than you, taller than anyone in the party.
Okay.
It doesn't quite reach the ceiling of the cave, but it gets close. It's about 10-ish, maybe 12 feet.
Okay. I am going to get the jerky ready in hand, and I am going to come here and try to get the dog's attention.
Here, I will maybe better, or sorry, maybe better if I cast a little whistle over there. I just drew it back.
Would it? Yeah. Sorry, an illusion would probably be a better idea.
Right
than
over
using
here.
myself as human bait. Not human bait, actually.
Demon bait.
All right, then what would
Alright.
you like to do?
I would like to cast minor illusion right here, and it'll be like the sound of like whistling, like as if someone were like calling a dog or whistling, but not like just loud enough for them to hear it, not something that would be like extremely loud.
I have an idea.
Sorry, where exactly?
Right back here in the back of this pin.
Continue, Sybil.
Never mind. I want to see how this goes first.
Okay. All right, let's hear your whistle.
Oh god.
I put you on the spot a bit, but
All right. I can't whistle.
all right.
I don't know how to whistle.
Can't whistle.
Yeah. I can whistle like a bird chirping, but I can't whistle like you're calling a dog.
I want to do that.
Like,
Well, I assumed you were doing like a. I assumed it'd be more of a call.
yeah,
but
that's what I was going for. I just can't do it.
you see them sort of like spin around, at the as the whistle rings out in this sort of very quiet cave. They all turn their attention from their meals and hear that sort of whistle. And you see them just kind of looking around for where the source of the noise was.
Hey, Wits.
Yeah.
You can do minor illusions, right?
Yep.
How about you put a rabbit or a game animal in there and have it just make a bit of noise to lure them in?
Or a pog frog. Okay, I'll do that.
Not a pog.
No, I'm kidding.
Like a rabbit.
I'm kidding. Yeah. Yeah. I'll cast minor illusion and I'll put a little rabbit right there.
All right, we'll
Similar-
use the
similar-
rabbit that you've seen most recently. Then how about that?
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Yeah. That's exactly what I was about to say.
Sybil turns a bit green at the realization that they're about to eat the rabbit version of herself.
Which just looks at Sybil smiling like, this is perfect.
Yeah,
Alright.
it works.
Oh, don't worry. It'll disappear when they attack it.
As it sort of fades into sight, Wits, you see them snarl and sort of bristle again, and then they lunge at it and they pull at the edges of the ropes, and they're sort of like held there by their collars.
As they do so, Draven's going to move up behind and take out his dagger and cut the rope.
All right. as the rope is cut, they pull free and race at top speed into the cage, and all sort of each lunging at where the rabbit is sitting.
All right, as they break free, Draven's going to run up and push the gate closed, I assume with Witz's help.
All right.
I should have put it on where the food is. That'd be very convincing.
Each of them sort of lunges at where the rabbit was, and they pass right through it, which sort of breaks the illusion for them. But you close that gate behind, and it has sort of like a latch along it as you close it. So it's not locked by a key, it's just sort of a latch lock,
All right.
which you can choose to lock if you wish.
Yeah, I'll definitely do that. I'm just
All
trying to
right.
think if I had something that
I
could,
figured you
like-
probably wanted to, but I offered the choice.
Yeah. I don't know if there's anything I can like jimmy in there to substitute lock.
All right. You sort of slam the latch down, and the creatures within the pen now, noticing that this rabbit is gone, have sort of turned their attention back to you, and are sort of snarling. And one of them kind of lunges and rattles the cage a little bit.
Can I make an animal handling check to try to calm them down? And just God, I don't
Or you
speak my
could
language.
toss another bit of food.
Yeah, it is bars. There is gaps, and they just can't get through the gaps.
That might be easier.
Yeah, so I'm just gonna pick up some pieces of food and kind of throw it through the bars and just say, "Yes, be good, stay in there, and be quiet, and you'll have more meat." Let me make that check.
I don't think you need to make a check for it.
Yeah,
Okay, thank God.
yeah, I
Not
didn't.
bad.
So
Oh,
I think it was more to just keep them calm when you were approaching them, so that they didn't just immediately snap at you, and you could instead offer them meat. But right now, it's like they're mad at you, and you're offering the meat that you've already convinced them to eat. So I don't think there's a roll necessary. So you kind of toss these slabs of old dried meat through the bars of the pen, and it sort of tumbles along the dirt ground below, and they immediately sort of lunge at it like they did the rabbit, and sort of fight over it as they snarl and snap at it.
poor things.
Good work, everyone.
all right, now
Yep.
let's prepare an ambush.
All right. Let's hide on the sides so they can't see us when they immediately come out from the door.
Yes, if someone does come out, perhaps we should extinguish the torches. Or at least the ones nearest to us.
Well, okay.
Anyone got any magic that could do that?
Wits
I have
does.
his.
All right, can I just cast Ray of Frost on this torch right here?
Sybil, I believe Druidcraft can put out fires.
Oh, Druidcraft.
Do you have that?
Yeah, so
I
Druidcraft.
do not have Druidcraft, but I do have Thaumaturgy. I can make
Oh
them
yeah, you did
dim.
take Druidcraft.
I can make the flames dim. Yeah, I didn't take Druidcraft because I wanted Thornwhip and Shillelagh.
True. Okay.
All good. I mean,
Shillelagh? Gosh.
yeah, Shillelagh. You have good picks. Sorry, I'm used to Killian having Druidcraft from
True.
my
Yep.
other campaign.
She never used it though.
Well, I can make the lights dim. I forgot I could do that. So I can't make
Weird.
them go out completely, but I can dim them.
You think Ray of Frost could put it out? Or would it just be burning too hot to do that?
Sorry, what?
You cut out, what'd you say?
I just said sorry, what?
Oh, would Ray of Frost be able to put it out, or is it just burning?
I don't think that's the
got it.
intention of the spell. You might make it able to make it kind of dim a little bit, but
Well, maybe we should just move them somewhere else.
If you want, when they come in, I can just dim all the lights in here.
yeah. So it dims for 1 minute, so you would need to time it.
All right.
All right. So whenever they come out, you dim the lights, and then we'll get to work.
You can also make it change color if you want. Because
Make
you know,
it
make it,
color.
That's
make it
fine.
like make it like an EDM, just like rainbow changing
I
colors.
could do like an insane. I could like I could try to intimidate them.
And
Okay,
then Witch will
Sybil?
cast him.
Yeah.
Sybil, if you tell me what color you want to change the torches to now, next session I'll change the map to that. That's my promise
Oh.
to you. Because
Hmm.
I can freely adjust the color of these torches. I just can't do it right now. But we're right at the end of the session anyway, so.
What is the scariest color? Like it's
Red.
just like red.
We're not red. Oh well.
It's what is the scariest color for fire?
Wait.
Yeah.
Okay,
fire.
hear me out. So this is an altar or a temple or whatever the hell this is for Athar, who is the nature god. We could try to trick them into thinking it's some type of like
We could
divine
do that.
intervention.
With a combination of Witz's illusions and my like plant spells, we could absolutely fuck with them. I love that idea.
What we
So
could
kind of
do.
like green.
Well, what we could do is you could keep them the normal color now, and then when they come out, you turn green, and then I can use minor illusion to make some sort of like loud roar to make it think that some
Yes!
divine intervention's about to come for this poor, probably grunt just coming to check the door.
Yeah. Oh, that's great. I love that. So green lights.
I think green, yeah.
Yeah, but they like in game they turn on when they come in the room. They don't.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So, I guess our plan for next session is to just spike out the bandits when they come in here.
If they come to the door.
If
That's
they
going to be a
come.
great plan.
if not, then it's gonna be time to go learn about Jellycat lore.
All right.
Maybe you could make the thing Jellycat, since he came from here.
Well, if we manage to kill this guy without him learning the others, and we can kill everyone stealthily, we might can go back and take a look.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry for interrupting, Jay. What?
No worries, no worries. I was just gonna say this is a good spot to end the session.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That was a very entertaining session.
So much good RP that session. Everyone, great job.
It really was.
Proud of us. You guys are going to betray me and attack my blueberry, and just know if Martos finds out, she will kill you.
No,
But
we're not attacking her. We're just.
You are stealing from her. You are stealing from
She's
my blueberry.
she's not using it anyway. She won't notice. It'll be fine.
Yeah, it's just
What if
robbery.
she
It's not
needs-
assault.
Yeah.
I'm kidding, y'all. Just know I won't kill you. You can't kill party members, but I am going to beat
Okay,
y'all.
well, of course you can kill party members. That's what fireball's for. But
That's not fun.
but
You will ruin this party. I will hate y'all throughout this whole.
okay, well, Mardos has no clue of anything about.
Not
so
yet.
It's fine.
We'll see. We'll see. You two are just gay lovers in her mind for now.
I am so excited to see how that's gonna turn
Yeah.
out. It's going to be a lot of fun.
It made me really happy. There was a couple like happy accidents there that ended up being perfect. Like I wrote the whole Rakiri High Noon thing before you guys had even made your characters. So there was an interesting little sort of thing there where I did not know that Witz's little persona he was gonna have was going to be a merchant, which added a whole new dynamic to it, which was really fun. And then I didn't know that Martos was gonna get so attached to Rakiri, which adds a whole other dynamic to that little
You
side
add a
thing.
cute orc to another orc. What do you think is gonna happen here?
So I was actually really, really, really happy with how perfect that ended up being.
I mean, hey, shady people like merchants, you know.
No.
But yeah, so the next stream will be Friday. It might be later than 7. I still need to get everybody's take on if 7 works for them. I think it will probably be pushed, but I'm not sure. Which I'll let everybody know when I know, and I'll tweet about it too. So Friday might be a little bit later than usual, but it will most likely still happen unless anything weird changes. But yeah, that'll be the next stream, and then the next stream of this campaign will be next Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern, unless anybody has any foreseeable issues with that.
I should be good.
All right. Well, if you do and anything changes, just let me know. That's perfectly fine. But we will say for now, the next session is next Wednesday, 7 p.m. Eastern.
Well, we're about to scare the absolute shit out of a poor, lowly minimum wage grunt, probably.
Isn't the
I-
first time
that's
somebody's
probably
pretended to be a
'cause
god.
Yeah, see, I get to be sacrilegious on this character since my other one's like double religious.
Yeah, but we're
Um,
we're totally gonna try to steal that merchant badge.
Oh, wait a sec. Do the other party members know what Sybil is? Because earlier Draven was like making insight checks when she was using thaumaturgy, so I don't know what the status is on that right now.
So my insight check wasn't to determine what you were; it was just to determine if you were being serious. So like
Oh.
your mannerism. So yeah,
Okay.
like typically insight, you can check like people's body movements, like their behavior, tell if they're lying or not.
Yeah, it's kind of
Stuff
very.
like that.
It's used most often for lying, but it can be for like body language things. If somebody seems like nervous around you, if somebody has like an ulterior motive, maybe, or they're, it can even be like the inverse. Maybe they're like extra comfortable around you for some reason. You're like, why the hell is this happening? So it can be for all sorts of different things, but it's most often used for, is this person lying to me?
Okay, good to know. I just wanted to make sure, what?
Yeah.
What the hell is Sybil?
And you can basically insight check anything. It's one of the ones that's on you guys to kind of bring up. I don't often say make an insight check for me. It's usually up to you guys to say I want to make an insight check. You can really insight check pretty much anything any NPC says or each other. But obviously that would probably grind the game to the halt if you insight checked every single line of dialogue. But it's one that's more on you guys to bring up.
Okay.
Yeah, so whenever an NPC's talking some bullshit or you're a little unsure of if they're being truthful, just hit J with the insight check right after he gets done talking.
Yeah, and I usually I don't like to do insight checks in that they are like straight up yes nos. I like to sort of describe maybe what their body language looks like and then let you make that conclusion.
Okay, but why would you make an inside check when you can just RP your way to getting what you want? That's what I did with the high noon guy.
Yeah,
Mhm.
good
That
good RP, and like if you're able to like I've talked to other groups about this, but like if you're able to sort of figure out what motivates an NPC, what they might want out of the interaction, or what they would maybe be like afraid of, or things like that, that can sort of even like bypass roles entirely, because if you can sort of understand the NPC where they're coming from and use that to your benefit in your dialogue, it sometimes voids the need for persuasion checks at all, because it's like, of course, yeah, they would agree with you, so you don't need to persuade them at all.
Yeah, and if it's okay but not great, like it could be a lower DC for you to succeed.
Exactly, yeah. If it's like, yeah, that's kind of a reason, but like they'll still take a bit of convincing, but you still try to convince them before you even rolled, that could lower the DC. So like trying to like talk to people and like really figure out what makes this NPC tick, that can totally like add a ton to your rolls before, and sometimes even void the need for them. In other words, good RP is good.
Yeah.
Yep.
Also, I totally thought of a way better way to deal with Jellycap, like immediately after we did it.
What, kill
Well, you have 2 health.
him? Yeah.
I am really curious
no.
to see how you guys.
Yeah, don't even
Right.
mind like maybe his DC or anything like that. Just that was the main part. No, I should have like said something like, "Oh, look how pretty like the trees are tonight," to get him to like look at the trees, and then cast minor illusion in the opposite direction to make that thrashing sound.
I will say if we make it back, I'm gonna need you in there if she's in there again.
Yeah,
to
that's what I was
distract
gonna
her.
say. That's what I was gonna say. That's probably that's kind of what I wanted to do if she was there, but I wasn't banking. That was kind of banking on the fact that 1, she wasn't there, and 2, Jellycap wasn't there, and both of those assumptions were wrong. So
Yeah, it's all
But-
good. We got intel.
Yeah.
That's what we needed.
yeah, especially if we were to actually get that then I could have went and got the lockpicks, and we wouldn't have to scare the shit out of a grunt. So
All good. Sometimes it'd be like that.
Yeah, sometimes you just have to pretend to be a god instead of using lockpicking.
Right, I'll do my little wrap-up spiel for those who are watching. So I've already said about the next streams, but if you want to find out if any stream times are changing, you can follow my Twitter, which is in the About section below. You can also join our Discord. That's the exclamation mark Discord command in our chat, and I talk about schedule stuff there too. We also have channels for art and discussion about all the different campaigns and the living world in general. We also have a world anvil. That's exclamation mark lore in the chat, which I actually think is it makes the emote pop up when you do it, which is kind of cool.
Oh, really? I don't see it.
I see the emote for you.
Oh, that's funny.
There's an emote for lore.
Yes, it is just what is it? It's
This
just
is lore.
lore with a capital L. Yeah. And
Yeah, you need a Frankerface Z for that.
yeah, to see it. And so we also have a the exclamation mark lore command brings up that link to the world anvil, which is basically like a wiki for anything relating to this living world, Grand Lorien. And you can read up about all the different stuff. They talked a little bit about Athar in this session. You can go read about that deity if you want. It's got lots of background information on gods, factions, places, everything you need to know. That doesn't contain any spoilers. So check that out if you want. Other than that, we also have a archive channel on YouTube. There's a link to it in the About section, and it will have all the archived VODs if you ever miss one on Twitch. Go and check it out there. And it has all the VODs that I have streamed. So if you want to go back and see campaigns that have started long time ago, you can go watch those ones too. But other than that, that's pretty much all I have to say. So, unless anybody has anything to add, we can end here.
Make sure to follow if you haven't.
True. We do appreciate that here.
We have memes.
We do have memes in the Discord if you want to
Very
see
cool
them.
art.
Oh, should I show the thing from yesterday? I kind of want to show it on stream because I want to show Honorary Slime Nights on stream.
Yeah.
Because I loved that. So this is a piece of art that was done by our very own Sybil about something that happened last night on Hearth and Home, where they allied with some slimes and were bestowed the rank of honorary Knight of the Slime Kingdom. And so this is a piece of art that I think is fantastic.
It's so good.
I wonder if the Slime Kingdom's gonna pop up like ever again
I
anywhere
wonder.
else in Grand Lorien after that.
I wonder.
That would be interesting.
And the font the slime font reminds me of oh god, this is gonna make me sound old. Anyone ever play the old Booger Man game? It was on I think it was on Super Nintendo and Sega Genesis.
I did
Well,
not, but
I never played it, but I had heard of that.
it
Yeah.
sounds like I've heard it before, though I don't have any like image of it in my mind.
Yeah, you can just Google it. Yeah, it's called Booger Man.
Am I the youngest one in Whispers in the Woods, by the way?
Probably.
You don't have to all say
Maybe.
your ages on stream if you don't want to dox things
Oh,
like
I don't
that.
want to. Yeah, I probably.
We'll on the stream.
Yeah, we'll say it off stream. Or I
and-
will.
And you
Yeah.
all, okay. Everybody in the chat, take care. I've always do this every time. Is there anybody online who we could raid? Because I always forget to do it. I don't like to raid big channels because it feels like I'm just like a little fly buzzing around their head. we can look at the D&D. See if
Ink
there's
and
anything.
Lyre, they're streaming Curse of Strahd again.
Oh, are
I
they?
think
Okay,
you
then.
rated them last time.
Yeah, let's do it again then.
What's a raid?
It just sends the people in the audience here to their stream.
Oh, okay.
It's just a nice gesture between streamers. I don't have a very large following, but I like to find other sort of similarly small D&D streamers and send the audience to them when we finish the streams. All right, we'll send you back to Ink and Lyre. They're doing more Curse of Strahd. That's a very fun campaign, so you all can head over there.
It ain't much, but it's honest work.
Exactly. All right, then I will start the raid. Everybody have a good night.
Night night.
Good night.
Night.